just point and shoot. There are things that you don't like. For instance, the sprinkler foot.
The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.
Anthony Rodia walks in and we're already having a fight. He's already like up in my face, yelling at me. What's wrong with you? What's your problem? Let's iron this out and have some fun.
I'm in the studio by myself with Scary. You know how scared I am right now?
With good reason.
His foot is slowly grazing my left leg, and I tried to tell him, Scary, get off. I'm not one of your cousins. Still bothers me.
He does date his cousins.
He does.
Hey, well, so Gandhi is in Detroit. Danielle's in New Jersey. I'm in New Mexico. Froggy's in Jacksonville. And you're alone with Scary. Sorry about that, Anthony.
No, it's all right. It's okay.
Sorry, Anthony.
He walks in and goes, you're never here when I'm here. What, do I smell like dog crap?
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Well, I didn't use the word crap, but we'll keep that off the air.
Absolutely. Hey, anyway, thank you for coming in. By the way, at the world-famous Caroline's this weekend, 28th, 29th. That's Friday, Saturday. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anthony Rodia. You know you love him. So make sure you get on to carolines.com and get some tickets if there's any available. I would go now. Get this done.
Yeah.
Because you're hilarious.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I have a ton of new material. I've been writing like a madman and just kind of been losing my mind on stage. And I get a lot of people asking me, how's the city? Is it safe? I go, no. But, the good thing is that we're in a gun-free zone in Times Square. So the criminals just leave their guns outside Times Square. Absolutely. And you're good. So just go on Broadway. You'll be safe.
It's fine. Times Square, they don't have guns, but they'll push you in front of an oncoming train.
Right. Exactly. Don't take the train. Take one of those scooters.
Exactly. Isn't that funny? That's the safest way to get around New York City, on a scooter. Anyway, so Anthony, we were talking before you got in here about rules that your family had when you were a kid. Mm-hmm. Now, were you from a family, big Italian family? If you put something on your plate, you ate it. Otherwise, you get yelled at. Did you grow up in a strict house?
Yes. I couldn't even. My father would scare me into sleeping over at people's houses.
What do you mean?
It was just a rule. You couldn't sleep over unless it was a relative. So some of my friends would have sleepovers, and my father would scare, like an 8-year-old kid. I'm like, Dad, can I sleep over at my friend's house? No. This is I pay the bill. I have a roof over your head. You sleep in your bed. And I would insist, and he would scare me and go, what friend? And I'm like, oh, so-and-so that I play Little League with. No, you see the father? I don't trust him. He's going to touch you when you sleep. I'm like, what? So I was afraid of all my friends' dads. I'm like, what do you mean?
Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Jeez. But what about food? When you come from an Italian family, food is the center of everything, right?
Yeah. So I talk about this a little bit because everyone's allergic now. Kids have gluten allergies, peanut allergies. If I ate something and I swelled up, my father would think something's wrong with me.
Right.
I'm like, Dad, no, my throat's closing up. It'll open up again and just eat, okay? I pay a lot of money for this food. I'm like, no, dude, I can't breathe. There was no allergies in my house. You would have to, he goes, no water after you finish eating just to walk it off. You can't walk off an allergy.
No.
I'm not walking it off.
Anthony, you say you have a lot of new material, and a lot of your material, which we love, is of course your storytelling about when it was growing up in your household and still living with your family today.
Yeah.
It's like an endless fountain of stories, right?
Oh yeah.
So the stuff that you're doing now, the new stuff you'll see at Caroline's this weekend, did you just repress all that stuff? Or did you write it down 3 years ago and save it? What's going on?
It's all in my head. It's damage control. I feel like I'm in therapy on stage, but it's not only just growing up. It's my kids now. Because my daughter just turned 7, my son's turning 3, and it's amazing being a dad because you realize things you've never realized before you were actually a father. Like you see people being parents, but you never truly experience. I never knew growing up that as a dad there would be multiple times where I'd want to directly punch my daughter right in the face. I never knew that as a parent. You can't, but you want to.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of venting going on. Halloween's around the corner. I don't like it anymore. Kids just ruin everything. I used to love it. I don't like it anymore because my son wants me to be a superhero. He's like, "Oh, Daddy, I want you to be Batman." I'm like, that costume doesn't look like it does on the package when I put it on. I'm 5'6.5". I put the Batman on and the cape is dragging. I look like a bride in a black dress. And he's looking at me going, what's wrong with Batman? Nothing. Daddy's too short for a super. I'll be Ant-Man. You want me to be Ant-Man? It's a lot of pressure. And then, with the whole couples thing, I don't like dressing up as a couple. Because it's not like, it's not like my wife's like, oh, you be Batman and I'll be Catwoman. No, she's like, you be an electric plug and I'll be the outlet. I'm like, I'm not walking around as a plug or peanut butter and jelly. So I told her this year we're going to go as divorced. She's going to pull up with my Roadster convertible that she got in the divorce, and I'm going to pull up with a 25-year-old brunette.
Oh, God.
Oh. That's going to go well. I'm excited.
We'll see how that goes. She might also take the kids, too. Yeah. She might have the kids with her, too. She got everything in the divorce.
Well, happy Halloween.
Yeah.
You know what? Well, so I love the costumes where you have to explain what it is. I mean, I can look at Little Bo Peep and know, oh, that's Little Bo Peep. But if you walk in, like looking like a piece of furniture, they're waiting for you. Like they look at you. Yeah. Like there it is, the recliner with two eyes. Yeah. Yeah. Don't you want to know what I am? Huh? I'm like, no. I mean, listen, I don't want to know.
My father used to try to make my costumes. I mean,
we could save money.
I'm like, why don't you put like a sack over your head with duct tape and you'd be a fig tree? I'm like, what? What? You want me to walk around with a sack over my head? Yeah, you put like duct tape and maybe get a bird, you kill the bird, you glue it to the top of your head, and you be a fig tree. I'm like, you need to be in a mental hospital. I'm not walking around with a burlap bag on my head.
I think it's a great idea. I think he's onto something.
There's going to be a ton of people walking around as fig trees this year.
Yeah. You know what? What's really great about knowing you, Anthony, is watching you from where you were and where you are. I mean, your career is definitely going in a really fun, from our point of view anyway, a fun direction. Yeah. So how are things changing? I mean, do you get ushered right to your table in restaurants and people want your picture? It's a different world for you now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I get approached a lot. And that tells me as an entertainer, you're growing. I mean, there's times like where I'll go into a restaurant and the owner knows me. He's like, hey, I got a table for you and your family in the back. I'm like, well, no one's going to see me there. Put me in the middle. And he's like, what? I'm like, no, I want to be bothered at dinner. Like, I want people, to come up to me. I count. Like, I went to the Yankee game 2. I don't want to talk about that, but I went to the Yankee game too, and I counted. It was like 38 people that recognized me, and then I got messaged by another like 40 when I got home that didn't want to approach me. And even though that sounds sick, it allows me to know that I'm growing as an entertainer. So I tell all my fans, if you see me, come up. I don't care if I'm eating. I don't care if I'm with my family, because at the end of the day, they pay my bills. I mean, without them, I can't do it. So after every show, I take pictures with them. Wherever I'm out, if they approach me, I never say no to a picture. I'll joke with them. I'll talk with them. Because, again, without them, I mean, listen, one day I'm going to wake up and no one's going to know who I am anymore.
That is our motto here. Look, we know I know exactly what you're talking about. We do. And no, you stay. You stay until the security people kick you out. They're like, you got to take pictures outside. You do it because one day they're not going to give a damn. Right. They're not.
And it's ironic. It's ironic you're saying that because I still have yet not met you, Elvis. So why don't you be here when I'm here? Okay, I just want to give you a hug, dude. What do you think? I'm going to jump on you like a spider monkey? I just want to hug you. Okay.
I think the longer that we're separate, and then when we finally come together, the sparks will fly.
Yeah,
it's going to be a beautiful.
Now you sound like my mom. My mom was like, the longer we're apart, we're building anticipation. I'm like, all right, now I don't want to see you either.
Look at the texts. Please come to Cleveland. Anthony, we love you. Thanks for being on the show. I'm peeing in my pants on the way to work. Are they really pissing their pants? I love that.
I had a lady, I just did Palace Theater in Waterbury, and she came up to me after the show with her husband, and she goes, look. I go, what? She goes, look what happened. I said, would you spill a drink? She goes, I peed. I go, you could have just told me that. You didn't have to show me that you literally peed. But listen, at the end of the day, I've been to a lot of comedy shows growing up. I love comics. I don't want to just make you laugh. I want your stomach hurting. I want you to wake up the next day with your back hurting. I want you to pee yourself. Like
I'm gonna throw something out. Oh my god!
No, I try to hurt you with laughter.
You want my TMJ to really bother me, don't you?
Oh, look at you! Oh, a little dental, huh? A little dental phrase. Yeah. I know what that is. Michelle's a dental hygienist. I know what TMJ is. I know what upper quadrant is. I know what an incisor is. I studied with her when she passed her exams. But no, I want to hurt you. I want to hurt you with laughter. I want to make you cry and pee yourself and all that.
And crap. We crap our our pants.
Don't do that.
I want to laugh so loud I crap everyone's pants in the entire room.
That's great.
Crap your pants.
That's great. That's what I want. That's what I want everyone to know me as. Yeah, I like Anthony's shows, but at the end they smell. You got to get out of that theater.
I had Elvis Duran's crap in my pants. Hey, but so another thing about getting more and more traction, more and more people loving watching you and listening to what you have to say. Like my friends, for instance, Michael and Michelle, they had a birthday party for their dog Tiggy.
Yeah.
Like, we're inviting Anthony Rodia to the party.
Yeah.
He's not going to come to your dumb party.
Oh, I went. I went. Free food and drinks. I'm going.
No, Tiggy is a cute dog. You have to agree.
It is. It was the biggest party I've ever seen for a kid, let alone a dog. They had Sal the Voice, Valentinetti. He called me. He was like, "You're coming to this thing?" I was like, "Yeah." "Why are you there?" He's like, "They hired me to sing." I'm like, "For a dog? You're singing for a dog? That's like me doing stand up for a dog. The dog's not going to understand me." But
wait, well, hold on. You didn't do stand up for the dog?
No, but after a couple shots tequila, I had a good conversation with the thing. I was sitting there going, "So, how good is your life here, man? It looks like you have a good house."
Tiggy has a great life.
Yeah, they were awesome. But that's listen. I tell all my fans, invite me places. I'm not going to be one of those guys that charge you for an appearance. If I'm free and you're within driving distance, I'll come hang out if I'm not doing anything. Do it now.
Here they come. I know. You're gonna regret those
as
words.
I said that, I'm like,
mistake.
What did I just
You're going to get Anthony scared up right now. Scared and ask you to go with him to dinner.
I'll baptize your baby. I'll be the godfather.
You're going to get all the prom offers. Right. Anthony, take me to prom.
No, that's Scary's job right there. I'm not going into a high school with a kid. That's all Scary. I'll give you all the prom dates, Scary. You can have all the prom dates. You'll be my stand-in. You'll be my stunt double.
Wherever you invite Anthony, he comes to your event. You are now material for his next show.
100%. 100%.
One of the things I just love about you and what you do is it makes, and I want everyone listening to do this or watching this later on the replay, whatever. Think about your own family growing up and now, your relationship with them now. All the funny things. And at the time they were happening, may not have felt funny.
No.
But when they were, maybe it was pure torture at the time.
I couldn't make fun of my dad. Right. When I was a kid, if I mimicked him, if he heard me talking like him, I would get backhanded. He gave me a smack that he would call the W. He goes, "Anthony, I'm going to give you a W. You keep it talking like your father, I'm going to give you a W." And I didn't know what it was. And then I looked in the mirror. He would smack me on my forehead, like flick his fingers at me, which it was just like a whiplash, like just a whip. And I would look, and he would leave a W with his fingernail imprints on my forehead. It looked like a W, like a lowercase W. And I was like, "Oh my God, he just gave me a W. That's what that is." So I couldn't tease him. Now, people ask him, they're like, "Do you mind that your son mimics you on stage and tells the stories in your voice?" He goes, "No, making me feel good that I could be my son's perspiration." I'm like, "Yeah, no, it's not the word. I mean, you just told everybody you like the fact that you make me sweat. That's not the word. You meant inspiration, but we know what you meant, Dad."
Of course you did.
Yeah.
The W. Scary's right there. Maybe you could demonstrate on Scary. Let's see if we can give Scary the W.
No, I'm not going to hit Scary.
Yes, you are. You know you want to.
No, I'm not going to hit him. I'll hit him when the cameras are off and the mics are off. Sort of beating the hell out of him during break. If he doesn't get his leg off my foot.
So this weekend, by the way, Carolines.com, Friday and Saturday, Anthony Rodia is going to be there. You should be there too. Come on. Part of the fun is getting there, going through New York City. That's part of the fun experience.
It's an adventure.
But you see, where you're sitting now in Tribeca, downtown, we have what's called Trashnadoes. Have you heard of these?
No.
Well, the way, when you live in a city with skyscrapers and tall buildings, the wind comes whipping off the Hudson River, whatever. Then it meets the wind coming from the East River right down down Broadway, whatever. And the wind force is such where it picks up all the trash on the New York City streets, which there is a lot of, and it turns it into a tornado. And you see Trashnadoes right behind our building. Was there one today? It's pretty windy today.
I didn't see any walking in. My ride in was a little hectic. My buddy Ozzy drove me, and he's an ex-police officer, and I woke up late, so he had to beat Waze, and he did, and I almost threw up on the way here. I was closing my eyes. I was in the back seat going, "Think of a happy place. Think of a happy place."
So you didn't even see the dangers of New York
I didn't
City.
see anything. I had my eyes closed the entire ride. I felt like his truck gave birth to me when we got here. I just fell out.
Well, that's what Nate said. Nate said Anthony's here. He said they raced to get here. They were late, but they made it. I'm like, hey, tell him to relax. We'll go late. We'll make him okay.
Thanks for telling me that ahead of time. Appreciate it.
Call us next time. Now, I love this text. My favorite lines of the day from Anthony. I want to hurt you with my comedy.
Yeah.
It's true.
I do.
Do you incorporate New York City into your things you're talking about?
I'm addicted to writing. I feel like when you come to a show, I have people that they've been to like 14 of my shows. I mean, they have T-shirts now on how many times they've came. I've got diehard fans. Right. And I don't want you coming to a show and hearing the exact same thing. I might have a couple of classics that, people yell at me for not using, but I want it to be fresh. I want it to be new. I'll deliver, the same jokes differently. So I'm always writing. And one thing I do is I write based on where I am. So yeah, I'm going to have a lot of, a lot of comics ask me, they're like, well, how do you kill an audience like you do? Because, you hear the roars of laughter. I don't want you just giggling. I want you laughing hysterical. And I tell them, stop writing what you think is funny. Because what's funny to you might not be funny to somebody. But if you find out what relates to your fans and you write based on relatability, if you relate, everybody will laugh at what they relate to.
In relatability, though, what would that be? Like, can you, on the top of your head, go, okay, if I told this right now on a stage, it would make them fall over? Like, what?
Yeah,
what really triggers people?
You relate to, you talk about, my fans a lot of them are old school. They were raised old school. So, you talk about different ways you were hit as a kid. I got hit with my own toys. I got Hot Wheels thrown at me. I got hit with a remote control. I got hit with brooms. I got hit with shoes. My parents probably going to get locked up after this interview. But, I got hit. Things that the way kids are coddled now makes me laugh. Like I tell a story that, I've got video of me as a 2-year-old and my father's holding me and he's smoking a Marlboro Light cigarette and he's blowing it in my face and all my uncles are laughing because I didn't like it. I was 2. Of course I didn't like secondhand smoke. And he's going, look, watch, you're going to throw up. Watch. And it was a joke. Nobody will do that to a 2-year-old now. So just how we were all raised. Gotcha, watch, you give him a piece of salami, the face will blow up like a balloon. Yeah, he has an allergy to salami. Stop making it happen.
All out of love. Hey, what's interesting to me, when getting back to the writing, because I'm sure you just love to write, and I'm assuming the majority of the stuff never gets repeated. You write things down and you test them out on yourself, whatever. Yeah. A lot of our musicians who come in, they'll write a great piece of music, right? And they realize it really isn't for them, but they know someone else would be great for. Right. Have you ever said to one of your comic friends, hey, you would really deliver this really well? Have you ever shared conversations? Is that kind of a weird thing? Sharing underwear with someone? I've
had people ask me, hey, can you write for me? I'm like, no. They're like, ew. I'm like, no, write yourself. What are you're going to tap in my creativity and use it? I'm like, then it's not yours. And then I've had the other side of, the spectrum where I've had comedians give me material. I'm like, I won't deliver it the same if it didn't come from me. I don't want you write. Like I hear some comics now, they have writers. They have a team of writers. I don't know. I don't ever want that. Because if it didn't come from my brain, I'm not going to deliver it with the same passion on stage because it doesn't hit close to home. And the way I write, listen, I'll have conversations during the day and I'll turn it into comedy. Like right now we're potty training my son, and I don't think that's a job that Michelle should do. And she's like, well, I potty trained Gabriella. I'm like, that's because you guys have matching parts. You know how that works. You don't know how a penis works. I'm sorry. And she's like, oh, you just point and shoot. I'm like, that's what tells me you have no experience. You don't just point and shoot. I'm like, there are things that you don't, like, for instance, the sprinkler foot. 2 in the morning. 2 in the morning, you go in the bathroom, you hear it hitting the water, you think everything's fine, and then all of a sudden there's a little sprinkle on your foot, comes out the side. I'm like, you don't know what that's like, and then you have the Air Jordan. That's when you wake up in the morning and you got a little morning rise, and you got to go to the bathroom with that. And next thing you know, your hands planted against the wall, your legs are spread, you look like the shoe of you look like a Michael Jordan emblem. I'm like, you don't know what that's like,
This is true. She doesn't
You don't know what that's like,
So you cannot expect a team of writers to come up with this stuff.
No.
This is stuff you're living. It's that
you got to experience it. You got to experience it.
I love it.
To all the comics out there, write your own material. Whatever hits close to home for you. Whatever you're going to deliver your material better than someone else's material. Just write your own.
Yeah. Sorry I brought it up, Anthony.
I'm sorry to offend Elvis's team of writers.
Oh, wow, what a team. We got a team. You know, even though, like I said, Caroline's this weekend, the world famous Caroline's at carolines.com Friday and Saturday night. But also, you're still popping out a lot of content online, right? I mean,
yeah.
That takes a lot of time, but you're still on it. Because I know, especially during pandemic, it was, daily. Almost.
Yeah, I mean, people got spoiled. I mean, I did 85 videos, 85 nights in a row at 7 p.m. And, you know, I mean, people needed it. They were watching Tiger King and a rolling death clock. So, I mean, it was like miserable. But, no, I'll never get away from the videos. Those videos are, you know, my fictional characters that some people are just finding out that are fictional now because they belong in a mental institution. People do think they're real. They're like, you never bring your uncle and aunt to a show. I'm like, well, if I'm on stage, they're technically there, you weirdo. But I won't stop doing them. Number one, I enjoy them. I can get away with a lot more if I do it as one of my characters. But also, they built me up. You know, those videos, that's what got, you know, people to know who I was. And you know, when you build a fan base, you put people in chairs. And I did those characters so I could build a fan base, so I could do live shows. But I can't just stop doing the character. I'll never stop doing the characters. I might not do 5 videos a week, but I'm going to give those videos still out to my fans because, listen, I love people coming to my live shows, but, you know, some people, they can't leave their house. They have disabilities. They're too far. So some of my fans, that's the only laugh they get from me. So I'll never stop doing the characers.
Uncle Vinny makes house calls. No problem.
Is your dad asking for money yet? Like, he's like, hey.
My dad's got a brand new pickup truck, and he wants to say royalties. He goes, I think you should give me some novelty. I said, that's not what you mean. That's not what you mean. But this weekend was the first time he ever wanted to get on stage. He goes, I think you should introduce me. I should come on stage. Thank you for coming. Your fans want to hear me. No, they don't. No, they don't. Because no, he won't let go of the mic. He wanted to say thank you at one show. And thank you for coming ended up being, thank you for coming. So my ride in was a little bit of crazy. Get off the mic. What do you mean your ride in? What are you doing, a set?
He's your opener.
I mean, is it safe to say that success has changed your dad a little bit?
You said he's signing autographs? He goes, I'm hoping they don't take my personality. You mean identity, and they can't take it from an autograph. You can't even spell your name.
We asked Gary what?
A couple of texts. Who is this Jamocha? He's hilarious. And he is like if Long Island and New Jersey had a baby.
Oh,
is that a
God.
good
I guess that's listen, I don't know what that means. But I'm from Westchester, New York. I live on Long Island now, but I love the guy. I love when they insult me and then say I'm hilarious. Who's this Jamocha? He's hilarious. Who's this jackass? I love him. Those are words of endearment. I like it.
Really
Listen, a compliment's a compliment.
Well, Anthony, thank you so much for coming. Anthony
No,
Rodia,
my pleasure.
Caroline's this weekend. Drove like a bat out of hell to get here just to say hi to you.
I thank you, the people that stayed in the studio to clap, and all you lazy people on Zoom. See, that's why I hate the pandemic, because of Zoom. I'm just gonna sit home in a shirt and boxer shorts and be on air. Lazy. Froggy's probably wearing a thong right now.
Of course he is.
So am I, though. So you guys don't even know.
What goes on under the Zoom camera stays under the Zoom camera. Anthony Rodia, 2 shows at the world famous Caroline's this weekend. Go to carolines.com. And like I said, part of the show is getting there, so have a great weekend. Anthony, we love you. Come back. Next time you're going to come back, let me know so I can get the hell out of town.
How about you let me know when you're here and I'll come? We'll base it on your schedule.
Fun. That's good.
It's our bit. It's our bit.
Yeah,
it's our
Mr.
bit.
Elvis Duran. I'm not going to insult you because I know how it works. It'll be the last time I'm in studio. But just let me know when you're here.
No, the further you dig, the better it gets, baby. Bring it on.
Yeah, I'll get an email later. You don't talk to me like that. I'm Elvis Duran.
I would never. Anthony Rodia, fabulous.
Love you guys.
Thanks for coming in, Anthony.
The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.